Emil Blanco Marine asked the single dad veteran about his call sign. Reaper 1 foot made him drop his drink, in awe. The diner was quiet that evening. The smell of coffee and grilled bacon filled the air as a single dad, Jack Collins, wiped down the counter. He wasn't a man of many words. His worn-out leather jacket, calloused hands, and faded marine tattoos spoke enough for him. His daughter, Emma, sat at a corner booth doing homework, humming softly to herself. She was the reason he worked double shifts. Ever since his wife passed away, she'd been his entire world. The bell over the door jingled. 3 young Marines entered, loud and laughing, fresh from base leave. They took a seat near the counter. "Coffee and burgers all around," said one, tossing his cap onto the table. He spotted Jack and smirked. "You a vet, old man?" Jack smiled faintly. "Yeah. Long time ago." Another Marine leaned back, noticing the tattoo on Jack's arm, a skull wrapped in a sniper's scope, faded by time. "That's a Reaper insignia," he said curiously. "You served in a recon unit?" Jack shrugged. "Something like that." The first Marine chuckled. "What was your call sign, Grandpa?" "Must be been something cool like old-timer or coffee maker." Laughter rippled around the table. Jack didn't react, he just refilled their cups. But one Marine, quieter than the others, stared hard at him. "What's your name again, sir?" he asked softly. "Collins." "Jack Collins." The Marine froze. His eyes widened. The mug in his hand slipped and shattered on the floor. "Sir, are you Reaper 1? The diner went silent. Even the clock on the wall seemed to stop ticking. The others looked around, confused. Was Reaper 1? The young Marine turned slowly to them, voice trembling. "Reaper 1 isn't a name, it's a legend. The most lethal snapper in Marine history. The man who saved an entire platoon in Kandahar from being wiped out by insurgents at night, with only 5 rounds." Allies turned to Jack. Said, leaning on the counter. "That was a long time ago, son. I was just doing my job." The Marines stared in disbelief. The one who mocked him earlier swallowed hard. "Sir, we read about you in snapper training. You took that shot through 2 walls and a broken scope." Jack just smiled faintly. "Sometimes the wind helps." Emma looked up from her homework. "Daddy, that's a Reaper." Jack knelt beside her and brushed her hair back. "Someone who protects others, even when it's hard." The Marines watched silently as father and daughter shared that quiet moment. The youngest one whispered, "Sir, it's an honor." Jack nodded. "No need for that, son. Just make sure your brothers come home. That's the only honor that matters." Weeks later, those same Marines were deployed overseas. Their platoon got pinned down in the mountains, surrounded and outnumbered. The radio crackled with static and fear. Then, a voice cut through the chaos. "This is Reaper 1. Mark your flares." The young Marine blinked. "No way, is retired." But when they looked toward the ridge, they saw a single figure in a ghillie suit, moving like a ghost, every shot precise, covering their retreat. One Marine whispered, "He came back." When they returned home, they went straight to the diner. But Jack wasn't there, just Emma and a folded note behind the counter. It read, "Don't thank me. Just live well. That's how you honor the fallen. Reaper 1. Emma smiled at them. "Daddy said he'll be home soon." He promised. A year later, a medal arrived in the mail, Silver Star for Valor. No ceremony, no cameras, just quiet acknowledgement of a man who didn't need the world to know who he was. That night, Jack sat on the porch, sipping coffee, watching the stars. He whispered to the wind. "For the ones who never came back. Reaper 1 still won." The diner sat on the edge of a quiet highway, lights flickering against the evening rain. Dos, inside, the smell of coffee and bacon filled the air. Tres, Jack Collins, a single dad and ex-Marine, wiped the counter with calm precision. Cuatro, every movement carried the discipline of someone who once lived by the second. Cinco, his daughter Emma, 12, scribbled math problems in a corner booth. 6. The jukebox hummed a soft country tune, peaceful, ordinary. 7. Then the bell above the door rang. 8. 3 Marines stepped in, fresh from base, loud, laughing, full of youth. 9. Their boots left wet prints on the floor. 10. Smells better than mess hall food, one joked. 11. Jack poured coffee without looking up. 12. Evening, boys. 13. Evening, sir, said the tallest, glancing at Jack's faded tattoo, an old snapper insignia. 14. You have at? He asked. 15. Used to be, Jack said simply. 16. What unit? Another pushed. 17. Marine Recon. 18. The table went quiet for half a second, then laughter. 19. Recon, eh? My uncle says every old guy claims recon. 20. Jack only smiled. 21. Emma watched the exchange with quiet curiosity. 22. She knew that tone, people often underestimated her father. 23. The youngest Marine, Carter, noticed the skull emblem on Jack's arm. 24. At tattoo, that's Reaper Company. 25. Jack's eyes flickered for just a moment. 26. Long time ago. 27. The loud Marine snorted. So what was your call sign, Grandpa? Coffee when? 28. Laughter again. 29. Jack refilled their mugs, un moved. 30. Nah, he said softly. Reaper 1. 31. The laughter stopped. 32. Carter's mug slipped, shattering on the floor. 33. The sound echoed through the diner like a gunshot. 34. Sir, Carter stammered. You're the Reaper 1? 35. Jack wiped the counter. Haven't they used that name in years? 36. The older Marines looked blank. 37. Was Reaper 1? The loud one asked. 38. Carter swallowed hard. Legend. Kandahar, 2010. The Ghost Snapper. 39. Jack's jaw tightened. 40. Son, he said, legends just mean someone survived what others shouldn't they have. 41. The diner grew still. 42. Even the jukebox stopped mid-song. 43. Sir, Carter whispered, you took that 1,000-yard shot through 2 walls. 44. 5 rounds, 6 hostiles. Everyone lived because of you. 45. Jack sighed. Not everyone. 46. He looked toward Emma, forcing a smile. 47. Coffee is on the house. 48. The Marines nodded respectfully now. 49. No more jokes. 50. Only quiet awe. 51. Later, after they left, Emma asked, Daddy, what's a call sign? 52. Just a name they give you in the service. 53. What does Reaper mean? 54. He hesitated. Someone who ends the fight fast, so others can go home. 55. Were you good at it? 56. Jack looked at her innocent eyes. Too good. 57. The rain outside turned heavier, masking the tremor in his voice. 58. At night he dreamed again, dust, gunfire, his best friend bleeding out. 59. Take the shot, Jack, the memory screamed. 60. He always woke before the echo ended. 61. A week later, the same Marines returned, quieter this time. 62. They brought their commanding officer, Colonel Bennett. 63. Heard the REAPER still breathing, Bennett said with a grin. 64. Jack chuckled. Barely. 65. You trained half the snappers in my division, the colonel said. 66. We could use a few tips. 67. I retired. 68. So did half our heroes. 20 mean the fix done. 69. Jack poured 4 coffees. 70. Every fight ends sometime, Kenil. You just have to choose when. 71. 2 nights later, news broke, a Marine convoy ambushed overseas. 72. Among the wounded, Colonel Bennett's unit. 73. Carter's face flashed on the TV report. 74. Jack's hand froze midair. 75. Emma saw it first. Daddy.